Welcome back, True Seeker. It is the Ides of March, March 15th, 2024. And the big news in the sports world, NFL star Aaron Donald announcing his retirement. And being the Super Bowl 56 winner, we'll get to why the Ides of March is such a fitting day to retire. But notice, it's the 75th day of the leap year, and his full name is Aaron Charles Donald, which equals 75. And this week's been all about NFL and Aaron Charles because the other Aaron Charles is Aaron Charles Rogers. And we've been hearing all about him this week, how he was going to be the VP to RFK Jr., and then he was a Sandy Hook conspiracy theorist. And of course, we covered how those stories unleashed by the numbers perfectly synced with his name. But now it's Aaron Charles Donald's turn on the 75th day of the year. And, just to cut to the chase, in that same cipher, Ides of March equals 56. Remember, he won the Billy Cannon Super Bowl over Joe Burrow, number 56. And they got the same colors as Ukraine. And his coach McVay had the Ukrainian fiance. And Alec Baldwin had just smoked the Ukrainian woman. And again, Aries is the ram, the god of war. Of course, the Rams Super Bowl was right before that war began with Ukraine and Russia. But here we are on the 75th day of the year again, Aaron Charles Donald. And just to go back over one of our greatest calls in history, and it's a long list of greatest calls. I mean, this is up there on a big old resume, but it was one of the greatest of all time. Helped a gentleman win over $300,000 by parlaying the World Series end date and the Super Bowl outcome with both teams in both series dead on the money well before they happened. But let me take you back down memory lane, the year that Boston beat LA in both the World Series and the Super Bowl, and we'll show you what we were looking at before any of it happened. If you're new here, Gematria, the simple practice coding numbers into words. Aaron Charles Donald equates to 75 when you take the alphabetic order with numerology applied. So notice how A is 1. That's because A is the first letter, right? So the first two letters are A, 1, 1. R is the 18th letter. The numerology of 18 is 1 plus 8 is 9. So that's why R is 9 in this cipher. O is the 15th letter. The numerology of 15 is 1 plus 5 is 6. So O is 6. So that's alphabetic order with numerology. If you just take the name Aaron Donald, which most people call him without his middle name, and you don't apply numerology, Aaron Donald equates to 99. A is 1, A is 1, R is 18, O is 15, N is 14. Add it up, Aaron equals 49. Add up the letters of Donald, they add to 50. 49 plus 50 is 99. In that same cipher, New England's 99, and recall it was the 99th NFL season that New England beat the Rams, led by Aaron Donald in a very low-scoring Super Bowl. LA, the 13 city, New England won it 13-3. By the way, if you spell out 13 as a word, it equates to 99, which is interesting because in history, the Illuminati was founded with 13 families on a date with 99 numerology. And then this country was named by the numbers on September 9th, when the United States of America equates to 99 when you apply numerology. And when you run it backwards, it's 132, like how it was named 132 days from the establishment of the Illuminati. And we'll come back to the Illuminati point because it actually matters in Aaron Donald's retirement today and goes back to how the Illuminati was founded by the Jesuits. We'll put that together in a moment. But the thing about that season, Aaron Donald's birthday is May 23rd, right? 5/23. And before that season began, this was the Patriots franchise record coming into that 99th season. They were on 523 franchise wins, which is the 99th prime number. And this is why we were so confident about this Super Bowl match. Well, plus the 99th NFL season was Super Bowl 53. And of course, in Gematria, Los Angeles and Patriots both equal 53. And so does Boston Red Sox. And about the Red Sox, we had them to win the World Series 4-1 because we saw if they did that. And we knew Chris Sale would be a big part of the game wearing number 41, and he was. But we had the Red Sox to win the World Series 4-1 because we saw that Game 5 was 99 days from the Super Bowl that year to conclude the 99th NFL season. And Tom Brady was 41 that year, so why not have the Red Sox win the World Series 4-1? Because as we know, Super Bowl equals 41, and when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, LA equals 41 instead of 13. RIP to Kobe and his daughter, who died at 13 and 41 in LA, and of course, Kobe Bryant also equals 41. But yeah, it was just, we mapped it all out, and I think we did it on a TFR episode, if I remember right. Well before the World Series came around. It was July 2018. And we just mapped it all out that night. We're like, look at this. Game 5, 99 days from the Super Bowl. That year, First Take, right at the start of the sports season, First Take did a big show on what was the best sports city in America, Boston or LA. And we're like, look at that, Boston or LA. We knew Brady was going to that Super Bowl that year. But then just once everything was down, we mapped it all out. We said, this makes so much sense. Brady has all that history with the Rams. And again, a lot of people won a lot of money, but there was one gentleman who made over $300,000, and he was already kind of wealthy, so he was able to place a larger future on both outcomes. He was a dentist who owned multiple practices, but hey, it's always nice, no matter what income bracket you're in, to win an extra $300,000 taking advantage of the scripts. So yeah, that year was just so obvious how it was all lined up. Aaron Donald, Tom Brady, New England, the World Series, ESPN, who's always giving away the scripts and trying to bait gamblers every single day into the wrong picks. Carl Anthony Towns, right before he got hurt, First Take did a big interview with him that morning about how great he's playing, what a great attitude he has, how awesome he is. And then the Timberwolves were like huge favorites that night against some nobody team, and then they got beat down. So that's how they do it. So it's all mind control and duping. But if you read between the lines, you can see the scripts they're giving you. It's like, okay, we see why they're doing this Boston, LA thing. They're going to go Boston, LA crazy this year. And they exactly did. And again, Super Bowl 53, you had the Boston Red Sox 53 win the World Series. You had Los Angeles First Patriots, both with the 53 connection. Again, they couldn't have scripted it any better. And with regards to today being 15/3, how you can write today the Ides of March, Jesuit order equates to 153, and the Illuminati equals 153. And it matters that this year is a leap year, the 75th day of the year, because the leader of the Jesuits right now, Arturo Sosa, he's 75 years old. And Adam Weishaupt, who founded the Illuminati, as well as Ignatius of Loyola, who founded the Jesuits, both of their names equal 75 in Gematria. So again, think about it. The date's 15/3, 153 goes with the Jesuits and the Illuminati. 75, 75th day of the year, goes with Aaron Charles Donald, goes with Adam Weishaupt, goes with Ignatius Loyola, and the current age of the Jesuit leader. And what have I been showing all these years? That the Jesuits script all of this. It would only make sense. Again, they gave us the calendar and the language, and we all know the phrase, all roads lead to Rome. And day after day, all the rituals are clearly paying tribute to the things that are significant about them. Not to mention, we showed how the whole Russia-Ukraine, not to mention we called Russia-Ukraine before it even happened, and the date it would pop off. Not to mention the war started on the anniversary of the Gregorian calendar going into effect. But, and let's not forget the Pope went over there on the 56th day of the year, the day after the war started, to plead with Putin, supposedly. And 56 is huge with the Jesuits. Again, today, Ides of March equals 56. Like Aaron Donald won number 56. Now he retires. Remember, we had Odell Beckham to score the first touchdown of that game. Odell Beckham Jr., 56, born on November 5th, the day leaving 56 days left in the year. He was traded from Cleveland to LA on his birthday, the day leaving 56 days left in the year before he won Super Bowl 56. And the Rams franchise started in Cleveland, Ohio. We said that was going to be a 3-point Super Bowl, and it was. The Bengals were a 3.5-point underdog. They covered the spread with 3. 3 has the Gematria 56. So does Abrahamic. So does light. Like how in the 3rd verse of the Bible, God makes light, a story that the 3 Abrahamic religions are based in. And for the record, Holy Bible is another 153. And again, we got the numbered Bibles about the same time in history that we got the calendar and the language standardized as it is. None of these things are an accident. That's why I always say they use the Bible like it's a script. Tom Brady, who went over there and kissed the hand of the Pope. But yeah, Aaron Donald, thanks for the scripted career. You helped us pad the pockets over the years. We wish you well, and maybe you'll be one of the latest NFL players to speak out about how how scripted the league is. Shout out to the Larry Johnsons of the world. And if you guys have never seen the podcast we did with Larry Johnson, we had him back on the show in 2020. And of course, Larry Johnson, in that podcast, he said because of people like yours truly, he was going to start his own podcast, and he's been doing his own podcast for almost all that time now. And he does Gematria regularly on his podcast. He did an episode about a year and a half back about how Gematria might have saved his life. He thought some former NFL types were trying to set him up. So, yeah, for all the people out there who see these videos and think it's all a coincidence, we thank you too, because if it weren't for people like you, they would have had to change up the whole scripting system. We wouldn't still be able to pad our pockets day after day. Even in spring training, it's all the same. You guys see the 5-3 thing they did with the Red Sox yesterday? It'll be amazing how many times they'll do it this season. They'll just blow your mind. You'll be calling coincidence like, oh my God, another coincidence? Now let's go to yesterday on Pi Day. Oh, that's weird. The Phillies became 5-3 at home. And Pennsylvania likes that number too, because Pennsylvania's 53 like Boston Red Sox. Philadelphia loves 61. Philadelphia equals 61, like church, like Christian. Of course, in the Bible, you got the Church of Philadelphia. But yeah, 6-1. Beat the Red Sox, get to 5-3 at home. It's been like that all spring training. First spring training game of the year. Dodgers beat the Padres 14-1. In light of the Dodgers' 141st season, the whole season's going to be synced up with Steve Garvey, the former Dodger and Padre. Opening day, March 20th, Dodgers and Padres in Korea. Again, like we've been educating you about the whole time, sports, politics, all controlled by the cabal, all by the same code day after day. And like I've also been educating about, if you got friends and family that laugh at you and say this is stupid, all coincidence, just understand those are short bus riders. Like I've said a million times, almost everybody in this nation rides the short bus. And I've known that since I was a child. That's why they still go to the obviously rigged sports games. That's why they still vote in the obviously rigged elections. It's still why they get their news from the TV and then do what it tells them to. I mean, you got to be a serious fucking short bus rider. I mean, they can't make a bus short enough for these people. So again, don't worry about the naysayers. These people are dumb. And in a way, we're grateful for them because it allows us to benefit from the rigged system. Last night, I put a few pennies down on the Scott's stock. You can use this in the market too. Scott's is the fertilizer company. It's the time of year where everyone's starting to buy fertilizer plus Scott's equals 15. Well, guess what? Scott's is having a glorious 15th of March. Okay. Learn Gematria, watch the sports games, watch the market, use your brain, have common sense. And again, don't listen to short bus riders. They're everywhere out there. They're bots in a system. They're meaningless people. They're cogs in the matrix. They're what George Orwell called the plebs. They literally don't matter. And they might be your family. They might be your friends. It's harder when they're your family. But if they're your friends, it's time to gravitate and move on and grow and not be held down by whatever you want to call them. The brain dead. So, yeah. We'll leave it there for now. If you want to join us, Patreon live stream starts Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. We're podcasting Monday through Friday and weekends for special events. We got March Madness coming up, so we're going to be podcasting pretty much 7 days a week for the next month. But, yeah, we'll see if we can smash another big college basketball future. Last year, a lot of people collected on UConn at 20-1 at the start of the tournament. And, again, I intend to do it again. We've done it a lot of years in the tournament, so we're getting ready. All right, shout out to Logan Thomas. Thank you once again, Logan. I appreciate that. And because Logan's so generous, again, when I go out to Oregon to educate, Logan's in the Oregon area. Again, I'm saving this one for you, Logan. Logan's going to get a mic. Hopefully he becomes part of our podcast. And yeah, I'm going to get serious about doing the podcast all the time. It's just right now I'm battling getting the new podcast on platforms. I'm thinking I'm going to have to change the name of the show because it doesn't tell you why the other podcast won't accept the show. So I'm thinking it's got to be the title. I might just switch the name of the show to News by the Numbers. If you guys aren't aware of the new podcast, definitely check it out. It's on Spotify. It's called Wake the Fuck Up Radio with Zachary K. Hubbard. But Spotify took it. Apple won't. iHeart won't. Google Podcasts won't. And those are pretty much the big four. So we're on one of the big four, which isn't that great. So, yeah. And if we didn't live in a nation of plebs and sheep, I mean, we'd probably have the number one podcast in the world. We'd probably have the number one YouTube channel in the world for the last decade. And deservedly so. Because hasn't anybody online showed anything more important? And people get mad about that all day, but that's just the fact, isn't it? Show me anyone who showed anything more important in the last decade online than what we've been revealing about this knowledge of letters, numbers, and dates and what's really going on in this world. Again, this just puts the big spotlight on everything and who's running the show, who's making the world a stage. But yeah, Check out the first 3 episodes of the new podcast if you're new here. All of these are essential listening. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get, even if I can't get this podcast on everything, I'm gonna keep it and maybe not do as many episodes for it. But I need to get a big one up on here about 1968 and the election. So the platform I paid for, I can create multiple podcasts, but I think I'm gonna have to create a new one called News by the Numbers or something like that. Number games, maybe just even number games, the title of my book, but we'll figure it out. So we'll leave it there for now. For everyone on the Patreon, we'll see you soon. And indeed, Aaron Donald is an actor, an athletic actor, and there's a lot of them in the world of sports entertainment. Until next time, True Seeker.